Hello, and welcome to The Magic of Neuroplasticity. I'm Samantha from Learning Success, and I'll be your host for this video series. Scientists used to think that the brain did not change. Fortunately, that has been absolutely disproven. Unfortunately, the belief still seems to hang around, and it's a very terrible and very damaging belief. This video is part of an initiative to try and dispel that belief so that today's children will have a brighter future. In this series, we present stories from people who have actually seen neuroplasticity in action. In this video, we have Dr. Susie Gronsky. Dr. Gronski is a licensed doctor of physical therapy, board-certified pelvic rehabilitation practitioner, and health coach. She's a pelvic health enthusiast with a special interest in pelvic pain and men's sexual health. Dr. Susie is the author of Pelvic Pain, the Ultimate Cock Block, and the creator of unique one-on-one intensive programs helping men with pelvic pain become experts in treating themselves. Dr. Susie is currently practicing in Asheville, North Carolina. In this video, Dr. Gronsky talks about neuroplasticity and pain.
Hi there, my name is Dr. Susie Gronsky, and I'm a physical therapist who specializes in working with people who have pain in their pelvis. And as you can imagine, having pain in anywhere in the genital area can be a very scary thing. And so one of my roles is to help explain the process of pain and to explain it in a way that really encompasses the biological, psychological, and social aspects of pain for that person experiencing pain, because we all have our own experiences and our own meaning that pain brings to us in our life. This is about neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity, or bioplasticity as some of my mentors have coined it, is very fascinating because you can have brain changes that happen so quickly. And we are changing moment by moment, minute by minute, second by second. You catch my drift. And it is an ever-going, ongoing process. And so change is possible at any moment in your life. It's just a matter of how are we tapping into those processes to create those changes and adaptations. And the brain and the rest of your body are quite amazing when it comes to adaptability and resilience. One example in particular that I'd like to share is a 21-year-old male that I was working with who had come to see me from very far away to get help for his right hip pain. He had surgery in his right hip. He was an avid athlete. And after the surgery, 3 years of ongoing debilitating pain. And it was very cyclical. It was 1 week on, that would completely set him back, and then 1 week where he felt completely perfect. Everything was fine. And so there was a lot of attempt to try to quote unquote fix the problem. And when I say fix the problem, is more of taking this very biomedical find it and fix it approach. When we're working with someone who has pain that is persisting for a very long time, we know from the evidence and literature that we're no longer working with a tissue issue or an injury issue. We're really working with a pain issue. And a pain issue is a process. It's a distributed process across the entire brain. And that process will look very different for every single person, just like your thumbprint does. And so it's really about shifting or working with the process or the neurological frameworks from a biological, psychological, and sociological perspective, and really applying that framework to the person in pain. And so it's about building connections, relationships, and building trust, and helping that person gain an experience of feeling good in their body to help lessen the threat of, oh my gosh, my life is over. I used to be an athlete, now I'm not. And so coming back to my example of working with this person, he really came to me lying down in the back seat, couldn't sit up because everything was really painful, traveled with his cushion everywhere he went. The thought of even wearing khakis made him cringe. And so there was a lot of limitations. I could even say self-limitation on being able to do a lot of the things that he once loved to do. And there was a lot of fear associated with doing those things that he loves to do. And so part of the process was to really add some fun back into his life. So during the sessions we would have music, and I would essentially use some clever brain games and tricks and movements to help him question his meaning of pain and what he originally thought it was and where it came from, and what people had told him about his pain experience. So during that process, there was a lot of aha moments and really questioning whether or not he needs to worry about causing more danger or more damage or more harm to himself. And once we kind of peeled away some of those layers and allowed him to express himself and use breathing to help regulate his autonomic nervous system to really calm the nervous system down, that opened up a whole avenue of possibilities, that, hey, maybe I can sit on this bench and have lunch with my parents. And that's exactly what happened. He took the concepts that we worked with from a physical, psychological, and social perspectives unique to his situation, and he took that and applied it into the world. So he nudged himself and tested the waters. Like, is it true that I'm always going to get pain when I do X, Y, and Z? And when he started to gain those experiences, like in a flash, like this happened like immediately that same day, having lunch with his parents. It was incredible, because then he came back and he was like, I can't believe I was able to do that. This is amazing. And that's how quickly neuroplasticity and adaptability can happen. And at the same token, it builds up that person's sense of agency, self-efficacy, and empowerment in their life. And to make a long story short, this person went on to start running again, which he never thought he could run. He rock climbing, kayaking, and again, this happened in such a short amount of time. So to summarize, neuroplasticity is happening all the time, and research and scientists are discovering that our brains and our neurological networks and the way our brains work and fire and integrate with other areas of our brains and the rest of our body does change, and it changes very quickly. As an example, there's a study out there that showed if we taped our fingers together like this, in a matter of hours, you'll start to see changes on a neurological level in the brain to adapt to this sense of new body perspective or body image and function. So it's quite amazing. And there's also another wonderful, there's a lot of YouTube videos and it's a study, but it's the rubber hand illusion. And this rubber hand illusion, if you look it up, the BBC has a really wonderful small snippet on this, but your brains will again adapt. The brain will adapt to the sensory information provided if it is credible enough just to kind of fill in the blanks for that story. And in this rubber hand illusion, people would have, they'd have their hand here and here, there'd be a box, and they'll have a rubber hand in place of their real hand, so the real hand will be out of the way. But what they're seeing is the researchers actually take a brush and just stroke the rubber hand over and over again. And what they found is that there's actual changes on in the tissue level and also in the brain that happens in response to just the visual information of watching the fake hand be stroked, but it's mimicking your actual real hand, and the changes are being reflected in your actual body. So I hope that wasn't too confusing, but really look up the rubber hand illusion, and that will kind of give you insight into the fascinating and the fascinating roles of neuroplasticity and how quickly that can happen for people. And that's how I like to empower my patients when they come in to work with me, is to show them that things do change, and they're constantly changing. It's where's our attention, and can we really make those experiences explicit, so that in turn becomes more of an implicit experience. And anyway, so it was fun to do this video for you guys. I hope you found it very beneficial. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gronski. It's amazing to hear about how fast adaptations can actually happen and the connection between neuroplasticity and pain. We hope this inspires you to make the most of your own and your child's cognitive development, because brains do change, and those that continually work to improve their own brain can reap tremendous rewards. You are not stuck with the brain you were born with. If you found this video helpful, please share it and use the hashtag MON for the magic of neuroplasticity. Thanks for watching and sharing. In case no one has told you yet today, the fact that you are watching this means you're an amazing parent. I appreciate you for showing up and doing the work it takes to embrace your child's brilliance and unleash their true potential.